y'all. Hey, y'all. I was checking to see if my shirt was inside out. It happens. So, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday or Monday. I think it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I'm really excited about this evening's conversation. We're going to be speaking to a powerful, amazing, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, author. I'm just really excited to have her. She's going to be joining shortly. And hey, I see you. What's up? What's up? Thank you for joining. So I'm going to go ahead and have her come on, and she'll be able to introduce herself as you all are coming in. But I just want to first say thank y'all so much for all of the support that's been happening with the show. I still have not seen the episode, so I'm going to watch it tonight. But I'm very grateful for all of your support. It was such a fun experience. So y'all go check us out on Bet on Black on Revolt TV, or just check it out on YouTube, Revolt TV's YouTube channel. Okay, so let's bring in... Okay, I hope y'all can hear me okay, too. I'm going to try not to mess with my phone too much. Good evening. Okay, there she is. She's coming on in. Hi, good evening.
Hello. I think this is my first time doing like the collab on Instagram. So
Really?
this is new. I'm
Yay,
excited.
a first. I really appreciate you joining. We've not met in person, y'all. So this is our first time meeting. But I saw her profile, and she was sharing about her girls' mentorship, the empowerment that she does. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to learn more. I have to talk to her. Because I'm originally from Lafayette, and I'm like, man, there's so many amazing entrepreneurs, so many amazing women doing crazy, like killer things in business, and blending worlds of faith and entrepreneurship and motherhood and just the whole nine. And you embody all of that. So I just really appreciate you joining and sharing with us what you do, and how we can support you even more. And yeah, so please introduce yourself. Tell us all about what you do. I know you're an author. I know you're a motivational speaker. But yes, you dive in, and then I'll start asking you some questions.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you for this opportunity and bringing me on your platform. I'm excited to be able to do this with you. This is a first, and I'm excited, maybe a first of many. But my name is DeAndrea Smith. A lot of people call me D. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm a wife. I work for a business called Clothing Grace. I'm very involved in ministry for the core group, and I make sure that I always invest my time and my attention into young girls. That is where my heart is. It's always been there. I've been working with girls since, oh my goodness, probably like 12. I
Wow.
started with girls around 12 because I taught dance in my church. So from then on, I just began to invest in them, encourage them. And then once losing my mom, I had a very difficult time, and a lot of things came to the forefront where I needed someone to be there for me, and I didn't necessarily have what I needed. So after that moment, I was like, I'm investing into girls. I'm pouring into them like I wish somebody would have poured into me. So from there, I began to write books and embark on a journey of just encouragement and inspiration for girls of all ages, really.
I absolutely love that. Like, you just took it up a notch. You were like, I'm not okay with just enough. Like, we deserve all the attention, all the catering, all the love. And it's true, like, you don't realize until you sometimes talk to young ladies. Like, and I'm a social worker by trade and everything. And so throughout the years, either working with young girls or even, high school students, like, you can really tell that there's like that missing piece there. And sometimes it could be grief and loss. Sometimes it's just not having the examples around, and not knowing where to go, or like what their future can hold for them and what they are capable of. If
Yeah.
sometimes if you don't see it, you can't really believe it.
Right.
So putting that in front of them is so critical, and I love that that's work that you've done. and it's so purposeful. Can you share with us, you talked a little bit about losing your mom, which I'm so sorry. I can't imagine, like, how, I don't know how old you were at the time, but at any time, I can't imagine. What was that grief experience like for you? And like, what did you learn, or still learn,
Yeah.
or are still learning, that you kind of use to help coach the young girls?
So when I lost my mom, I was in college.
Mhm.
I'd say 21, like that age when you just going out in the world and doing the most, and I was doing the most.
Yeah.
But me and my mom had a great relationship, and I'm grateful for that we had a great relationship, and we always stayed connected, and she always was praying for me, and she always was texting me.
Mom.
So I'm grateful for her investment in me so that I can pour into other girls. But with losing her, it was very difficult. And I grew up in the church, and I thought I knew God, but it was when I lost my mom, I realized that no, I don't really know God. I was depending on her for so much, for prayer, for go ahead, go read your Bible, like just for her to push me. And when I lost her, I lost my push and my drive. So I just began to turn to things that did not please God, that did not honor God. I was clubbing and doing all those things. And at my most darkest moment, because I was dealing with just thoughts of not wanting to live and feeling like people didn't understand me. So I had this moment and this breakdown with God that shifted my life tremendously. And God gave me direction. After that moment with God, after I had a breakdown in my apartment, just me and him, um, I was positioned to pursue him in a whole new way, like I never had before. And when I began to pursue him, he began to give me my purpose and give me direction. And one thing I started with, which I don't really talk about now, which was a t-shirt line. God gave me a t-shirt line, and it was targeted to girls, and it was called More Than a Pretty Face. And I started there. And from there, it just went from different things. God took me out of that, and he put me in a place of mentorship and pouring into girls. I went back to my hometown where I did have a girls club before I lost my mom. But when I lost her, I kind of dropped everything. So I picked it back up, and I began to give them hope, give them direction, give them inspiration. Like, this happened, but I decided to keep going. God gave me the the energy and the endurance to keep moving forward even when it was hurting. So after I began to pour into them, God gave me, there's purpose in your pain, and I began to share that. And then that's when I wrote my first book. um I wrote my first book
Yeah.
after God began to show me, like, there's pain in my purpose, there's purpose in my pain. And then I wrote my book about the brokenness that I went through. So Beauty in My Brokenness was my first book. And I began to share my story on how I overcame, how I got through grief. Because, well, grief is really something that you kind of don't get all the way through it, but God gives you what you need to navigate through it, and he will strengthen you and comfort you through it all. Because this is the month, it's crazy how we're having this
Mhm.
chat, but this is the month that I lost my mom, and this is the month also that her birthday is
Oh,
next weekend. So, God has a way of just orchestrating things perfectly and allowing me to share this as a testimony on, 13 years later after losing her. So
yeah.
a year or two, 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to even talk without boohooing, crying, and all those things. But he has definitely strengthened me, equipped me, and helped me to, be the woman of God that I am today.
Giving you what you need. Some
Yes.
comments said great books. So you got a fan. Great. Wow, may God strengthen you. Thanks, Tania. Uh, yeah, I think that it's a journey for sure.
Yes.
Losing a parent is just like wild. It's so bizarre. Like, it's bizarre. I still have moments where I'm like, he really gone. Like, that's crazy.
Yes. That's
So
me. I
weird.
have like, I think if I didn't have a new phone, I would probably still have her number saved. Like her number was just always saved. It's probably still in there. I just don't know. But
Yeah.
with our phones, I'm like, let's just leave that. I can't delete it.
But you certainly have turned it into more than just a memory of her, but really like a life that's in honor of
Yeah,
her, and pouring into these young ladies or these young girls who will continue to share what she has taught you,
right.
you know. So I mean, that work never really stops, but when it's purposeful, I feel like it doesn't even feel like work. It just
Yeah.
feels I'm supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing.
Yes.
um, I know that you also offer different workshops. Can you share with us like where the idea came for you to do that, and what types of workshops you do with the
Mhm.
girls?
So I had my very first summit, and I think around 2018, God gave me that idea to have a summit, and I hosted it in Shreveport. That was where I was living at the time. So I hosted my first summit, and I was just amazed by everything that happened. I had like 30 girls, and within the summit, it's like three different workshops that takes place. One of the workshops, it inspires you. The other one, I bring in an entrepreneur to just come in, teach a skill. And then I have another one that kind of builds the confidence of the girl. So when I had that summit, I was like, how can I do something where, because I was bringing in other people, then I was like, maybe I can do something where I host them. It doesn't have to be long. So I began to host them here in the area that I'm in, Lafayette, and I'm not from here. I'm from a small town called Mansfield, and then I moved to Shreveport, and then I started, having events there. Then when I moved here, it took me a while to start because I was like, nobody knows me here. Like, how is this gonna work? So I got out of my head about it, and I started hosting free workshops, and they still are free. The ones that I do host, as long as like the venue is free, because
Yeah.
cost
But
of
the cost
events
comes
can be a lot.
out.
But the library, when I found out the library has rooms that they offer that are free, so I started to just bring in the material and then host them there. So I focus on confidence, which is things that I battle with. Everything that I battle with, I give them the tools to overcome and to deal with. So I talk about confidence, I talk about goal setting, and we also talk about like leadership skills and building friendships and relationships with other girls, because we are in a society where it's just social media, but you need to have relationships outside of social media. So I focus on that as well. So
So
that's
real.
what it looked like. And I think my last one was I did a big conference this year. So I didn't have a lot of workshops because I wanted to invest into and give my time and energy to the conference. So this year I did my first conference, and that was exciting. It's an accomplishment for sure. And then in a couple of weeks, I'm having a teens giving, like the friends giving. So I do have that coming up. So I'm excited about that.
That's so awesome. So how are they finding you? Because you said you had a hard time, but I don't know. Like you're on a roll. Like how are they finding you through their school, through their counselors, through their church counselors? Like because I feel like that is such a beautiful network that, like you said, I think sometimes young people in general are kind of missing those social skills, and they're missing, and I don't know if they realize they're missing it, but when they get it, you can see the joy that comes from it. You can see the growth. You can see the confidence building, like you talked about. So I love that, like, that's such a special little capsule of time that you can have with them until they're adults, you know? But yeah, how are they finding you? And I love that. Yes, Teens Giving is such a cute idea.
Thank you. So social media, that is the only way. So I just post a lot, and a lot of people that are in the area, I'm not really connected with a large group of people, just some people. So I have to blame it all on God, because I'm
Wow.
like, how are people finding me? But social media, and then you share, you get a couple of likes, and you're like, oh, nobody's seen this. Then I get registrations. I'm like, what? So I think my very first one here, I had about 12 girls, and then at my conference, I had about 50 or so, 60 or so girls registered that came. And then my previous ones, I went up to about 20, 25 girls. So I continued to target them as well. Like, hey, you attended this one, so be sure to share. So it's like word of mouth. Word of mouth works a lot. People are like, oh, do you know such and such? And they'll give their information to me. So word of mouth and social media is how I pretty much get the word out there. Being that, I'm not from this area, so it's kind of like building up a little bit. Some people are becoming aware
Yeah.
due to social media. So thank God for social media because you can have some benefits in
And
that.
you've got community here, so we're gonna all be pubbing you as well. So
I appreciate
but
it.
I
I
mean, like,
do.
you're amazing. What's a lesson that the girls have taught you?
Well, one, patience.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think a lot of things can teach us patience, but I don't like judge them or like because they are in a generation where we're in TikTok world. They know a lot of different things. So what I don't do is like, girl, we not doing it, or girl, we not listening to that. I try to become or learn more about their world because I know we grew up differently and things are different, but I try to learn more about their world and not shut it down. And I also, if I consume something that is not like, we're not gonna do that, because they become more open to me. I've seen them just open up and tell me all their business, because I'm not like like shutting down a lot of things. I'm listening, not judging, and trying to help them to navigate it. Because with teens, you got to be careful how you consume information from them. Because once they feel like you just being like too much, they be like, I ain't telling you nothing. So really making sure that I'm not judging, being patient with them, and being open to learning about, their world, what they're walking through. Because my journey, is not necessarily going to look like theirs. And I have to know that they're going through things too. Like, that's a big part of, why I do what I do, because I'm like, just because they're 10 or just because they're 9 doesn't mean they're not faced with challenges and not faced with things. So, a lot of things that I do inside my workshops, I like to bring in a mental health coach. Most of the time, she's there. I always invite her. She's on here right now. I always invite her because
Let's
she
shout her
can
out. Which
talk.
profile?
Her name is Tasha. Everybody loves Tay.
Hi. Oh, hey. Yeah, she's
So
been dropping gems in this chat.
yes, I always invite her because she gets to really provide a different advice and guidance to them from a um mental health, side of things. So I invite her all the
I
time.
love
So I always make sure that I have her in the room just to help them. So yeah, that's pretty much what they teach me, to
I
just be open.
think earlier that I wanted to come back to. She said, also the healing the young girl within ourselves.
Hmm.
Like, such a beautiful thing that we sometimes forget that there are some unhealed parts, that there are some unaddressed
Yeah.
conversations maybe. And so, like, one, of course, having a mental health professional there is great. But also just creating that safe space where they can feel like they're not alone and they can share with their peers, or share with a safe adult, like that is such a healing process in it of itself.
Yeah.
So I think that's beautiful. I know that you also offer mentorship, like virtual mentorship with young girls too.
Yeah.
What's the age range that you typically focus on for your virtual mentorship? Because I feel like there's a lot of moms out there who are like, can somebody else just talk to her? Like,
Yes, and that's how it is sometimes. Kids just need to hear somebody else say it besides their parents to be like, she was right. But yes, I do virtual um just sessions with them. So I personalize the session based on the information that they give me. The ones I've done in the past, they're all faith based. So I bring in the word, I bring in scriptures, I bring in activities, and I make sure that they have time to share and I give them just different ways or action plans, because I provide them with something after the session that they can work on and that they can do so that they can continue to, win in different areas of their life. So that's something I just opened back up again. I don't think I've done it since before my conference. So I brought it back. I opened a little time in my schedule because I'm like, I have to. I've had people ask me.
Oh,
So
really?
I wanted to make sure that I'm able to be able to pour in that way as well. Because a lot of girls, they don't get to attend. A lot of people I know, they're not close. So they like, how can I get and be a part of what you're doing if I'm not local? So
Right.
do that as well.
Shared. Loving the combo, our journal group talk. I love that, a journal group talk about nonsense and nonsense that makes sense while learning that your feelings are not facts, but the fact that you feel matters. That is so real. And it's so true. I remember that age, that time. And where you're kind of like battling you think you're an adult and you think you know everything and you think you
Yeah.
got it out, and like, why are you telling me what to do? You're not cool anymore. Like, you don't understand my generation. You're not hearing me. And I'm just very grateful that for the most part at the time, I think there's still some of this now, but we had things like Girl Scouts and sports, and
Yeah.
we didn't have COVID hadn't happened. It hadn't disrupted our lives for 2, 3, 4 years, where we're missing out on that social time. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I remember having those outlets. Have there been any, I guess some of the girls that you all mentor and work with, have they kind of expressed to you like how you've changed their life, or how you've made them think about things in a different way, or given them the friends that they maybe wouldn't have been able to find? Like, what's some of the feedback that you've gotten from the girls?
Yeah. So I always ask for feedback, especially from my teens, but my younger girls, they're able to communicate and share how they've enjoyed something. So most of the younger ones, they tell their parents, and their parents come back and tell me, and I'm just like, what? Like, I get text messages. And
Oh,
after my workshops, I went to Texas and I did one, and the lady just was sending me messages all week of the parents saying, my child really enjoyed this. When are you going to have another one? It was absolutely amazing. But my older girls, they're able to just text me themselves. And I have one that I've just seen blossom that I'm just so proud of. She's been a part of my, when I do workshops, she's always there. So it's
um,
probably been around for maybe about a year. I've been doing this for a while in the area, so she's been a participant in all of them, and I think she's about to be or is a senior now. Yeah, so
wow.
she used to be just have a hard time of just dealing with her emotions and just going through and processing through a lot, not feeling love, not feeling um like she could make friends. But now I see her with friends, going to homecoming, and just
Oh,
excelling in so many ways. And I'm very proud of her. She's working now, so I'm like, are you coming to my next event? But she's like, they have to work. But she's one of my ones that I'm just super, super proud of, because I've been able to watch her journey and watch how she's improved over the time of being connecting, and her being open enough to text me when she's walking through something, or text me when she's having a hard time, or text me when she needs me to talk to her mom. So we built a relationship that's very amazing, and I'm glad to be a part of their life. So I love, love, love being able to be connected to them in a way where they feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm not having a hard day, or could you tell my mom about this for me, like if they don't feel comfortable. So for them to be comfortable and open to me just shows that they trust me, they trust um who I am as a leader, and that means so much.
that's awesome. And I think that's the highest high, is that seeing that real time, like,
Mm-hmm.
development in
Yeah.
people, in real time. So congratulations to both of y'all.
Yeah, it's,
You did it.
it's amazing.
Um, I wanted to ask you, I know you're an entrepreneur. at the end of the day, this is all purposeful work, but it's work. And your partner and a mom, wife and mom, right? Wife
Yeah.
and mom. How has this journey been as a collective, like as a family, as you're juggling
Yeah.
these activities, you know, what or what tips you might have for other entrepreneurs who are juggling, you know,
Yeah.
personal and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, juggling everything. So when it comes to my events or anything that I have, I'm involving everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you all gotta come work. You all have to come.
Uh,
This is a team family effort. I'm not in this thing alone. So I always want to make sure I include my kids because number one, I want them to understand what I do because they like, what are you doing, mom? So I want them to understand what I do and I want them to be a part of it so that they can see that mom is encouraging, mom is inspiring others. You can do the same thing. So I make sure that I bring them along and get them to help and to assist and my husband to help me set up and help me do the things that needs to be done for events. But at home, just for example, tonight, I'm like, hey, we need to plan around the schedule. I have a podcast at 6:30.
yeah,
Who's cooking? Like, I can't, no, not who's cooking. I'm not cooking. So we need to figure out, are we doing crock pot meal? Are you cooking? Make
yeah,
sure you take care of the kids, get them in the bath. So it's a team effort with everything. Like, balancing and stuff. I'll be like, I'm not balanced. It's hard to balance. I be throwing balancing that
yeah.
word out of the window. It's
Okay.
never really a legit balance. Like, it's always teamwork with my husband. Like, it's team. We need to look at the calendar, figure out what you need so I can be there for you. You see what I need so that you can be there for me. So we make sure that we are there for each other, and communication is key when it comes to make sure that I'm juggling and handling all that I need to do and being aware of, like, okay, he seems like he can't do this today, so let me take this on. So
Yeah.
just being aware, attentive, and make sure that I'm communicating what I need and being aware of what they need as
I
well.
think that's a beautiful practice of self-care too. And like being able to like rely on others. Because sometimes we don't want to ask for help or we don't want to bother or inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to really get through is together as a team.
Yeah.
So I love that. So I know we have a lot of time. I want to talk about, I know you have a devotional journal. You guys, this is such a beautiful thing. A 12-week devotional journal for girls 8 and up. Like, that is so dope. That is so dope. And on top of that, a free, and I want to make sure it's a 30-day prayer challenge, the free download. Like,
Yeah.
those resources alone, on top of her book, because don't forget she has her book, Beauty in My Brokenness. Um, these resources are amazing. If your girls can't get to the mentorship program or they can't get to workshops or whatever, though I think you should try one. If I had girls, they'd be there. I don't have no girls, so I'm sorry. But I will certainly be reaching out to friends and family who do. But tell us, like, what is the purpose behind the devotional journal and the prayer challenge that people should participate or down, especially the prayer challenge? I think that's so dope.
Yeah.
Where did those ideas come from too?
So I always work to provide free resources. I've done that for a while for my audience on social media. So I work to provide free because people needing stuff.
Yeah.
They just and sometimes they just don't want to pay for stuff, but they need it. So I'm like, I'm gonna make sure that I provide some free resources because I've always worked with women in general. So I provide resources for them, for women of all ages on my website where they can download like the prayer challenge. I also have things like affirmation calendar. With the prayer calendar I have, it just gives you different points to pray because sometimes you can just feel like you're running out of stuff to pray. So I provide that as well. And then like I have like a Bible study journal, just
Mhm.
free material to grow. I
That's
like to provide tools to grow in your faith because I know what it was like for me, getting to know God after I thought I knew him, just, having those tools so that you could be able to develop your own relationship with God. So I had that. And then, I started with my resources just for older women or women my age.
Okay.
But even though I was working with girls, I never had like, books for them. So it wasn't until I think I just released that book last year. Yeah, that was last year. So that I released the devotional journal, and it did so well. Like, it's still doing great. It was such a God idea.
Yeah.
And God gave me just 12 different things where are guides that girls could read the devotional. It's super cute. I wish I had it in here with me. I think it's
Pass
the
out on the
cutest little. I try to make it so it's just so cute and fun. I'm working on another book right now, but I try to make everything just like so cute, so girly.
Yeah.
But I love how it just guides you on and keeps you on track. So I have a little track in there where they can check off, like, I prayed all week long, or I spent time all week long with God. And it gives you a prayer point, a challenge, which I love that it provides you with a challenge, like,
Yeah.
be nice to someone today, or just something like that that goes along with the devotional that they read. So it really helps them to kind of focus on building their own relationship with God, because that was a big thing for me after losing my mom. I always want girls to build their own relationship, because your parents, they're there, but they can't, do it for you. You have to do it for yourself no matter how old you are. So that's something that I always try to get across, and that's like a main reason for that book,
I love
to push them and to guide them through navigating through their faith, because it can seem overwhelming when you're young, like, what do I
it.
do, like,
You're older too.
yeah,
Like, I mean, the journey starts when it starts for you, but having at least something to help give you prompts and to kind of be there to give you some examples. Because then from those examples, you might say, oh, I want to read more about this one. And then you go find resources, or you ask questions, or you book a mentor session to dive deeper into what you learned in your devotional or what you're journaling about. So I feel like that's such a great thing, because it is literally, your faith is practice. It takes practice every single day,
every
especially as an adult. So if
yeah,
you can start early practice, kudos. I love it so much. I'm just thinking of like Christmas gifts right now. Like,
yes.
it's such a beautiful, and like a little collection of all of these. I just think is awesome. But yes, I don't want to keep you from dinner with the family. I know I said 30 minutes. But
It's
I
a,
story.
we
I love your mission.
had dinner before, so you're good.
So, um, I love the work that you do overall, and obviously it's a passion. I think my last question for you is a fill in the blank, okay? A little maybe fun one. It is, I wish I knew blank when I was blank.
hmm. I
And
wish I
y'all
knew
can
blank.
fill it out too. So if y'all are on the call right now on our live, you can also share. I wish I knew blank when I was blank.
The only thing I can say is I wish I knew God the way I used to know him when I was in middle school, because middle school was fierce.
It was a tough one.
Fierce. It was terrible. I hated middle school. And I think about today, like with the girls in middle school now, I'm like,
For today,
y'all,
like,
they be going through it. Middle school is But yeah, I wish I really knew him when I was in middle school, because I probably would have been a whole different girl. Like,
that is so cute. Well, thank you again so much. Oh, wait, we got one. Oh, this is so cute. I wish I knew my worth when I was in my 20s.
that
Yes.
that part, because that's why I wish I knew God, because I wouldn't have got in a lot of relationships that I got in. If I knew who I was, I wouldn't have wasted my time.
But see, that's how you got to your
Yes,
king. So it's like it worked
yes.
out. That's a good one. Um, I love this. Thank you so much. Okay, so where can we follow? Where can we Subscribe. And y'all, she also has, you can subscribe on the website and get extra off so you can get your books and everything. But yes, tell us where to follow and support, and what you need right now. If you're looking for referrals for more young girls through, community programs or whatever, time wasters. Amen.
I'm smiling like, girl, for real. But yeah, so coming up on this Saturday, I'm actually doing a book signing here at the Pink Paisley here in Lafayette
What
Boutique, where my
name?
I think I'm going from 12 to 2. 12 to
Okay.
2
Pink Paisley.
at the Pink Paisley. So I have some books there. She allows me to put books in her store. Such a sweet lady. But I have some books there, and I'm going to bring some, and I'm going to be signing and selling. And all proceeds are, I think, 20% of the proceeds goes to cancer. I think.
Maybe like for
Um,
in this month or something.
yeah, it's themed, so I have to look
Okay.
back. I have to look back at the thing, but I know 20% of the sales goes to a good cause. I can say that. And also I have the Teens Giving on November 16th, and it will be a small gathering of girls. It's not going to be as big as my other events. It's going to be more intimate at the Coffee Weed Cottage, one of the cutest coffee shops here in the area. And if you go to my website, www.deandreasmith.com, you can find my books, free resources, and you'll see all the events that I have coming up. You can follow me on TikTok, here on Instagram, and on Facebook. I love creating funny videos and all the things that I love to eat.
Yeah.
So
Oh, this is so great. Well, hopefully I'll be in Lafayette Saturday for sure. And I think we're working on a little project for Bees Bayou. And I think we'll be done by about 12. So I'm gonna come by and
I
get
would
my
love to
okay.
in person.
I love to meet you in person and get my book.
Yeah.
And cause whatever bonus cause it is, but to support you specifically. Y'all, I just appreciate this whole conversation. Just give me a little lift in my week. And anything we can continue to do to support, please reach out anytime. Like, I just love, I'm a part of some organizations that I want to share your business stuff with. Will be sharing with. I hope that's okay. And my mom, who's a pastor in Lafayette, she works with some nonprofits and stuff out there. So I know some of those moms and grandmothers
Yeah.
will be looking for resources, even if it's to download to buy the devotional journal. That's their judge. Okay, they will be so happy. So to learn more about you, trust me on that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, DeAndrea. I really appreciate it. All
Thank
the best.
you.
Congratulations on your book signing,
Thank
and
you.
have fun
I-
Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly, truly appreciate you. It's crazy what social media can do because
See,
that we
yes,
connected. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to connecting with you even more.
for sure. All right, y'all. Well, have a great evening. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.